for being a friend?
Travel down the road and back again. Golden Girls.
Golden Girls?
The writing is getting deeper and deeper because the authors are learning more about France and about the French. In season 1, they saw the obvious traits of the French culture, and then now they're getting deeper.
We can definitely expect more of the French trio, Sylvie, Luc, and I think that's something that the audience and the creative team really likes.
On revoit un peu les dialogues en français parce que si tu veux maintenant sur la saison 3 il y aura un peu plus de scènes en français parce qu'il y aura un peu plus de scènes entre nous trois. Par conséquent en toute logique on n'a pas à se parler anglais donc on se parle français. Donc on affine, on adapte les trucs en fonction de notre sensibilité à nous trois.
Moi j'ai plus d'expérience, j'ai plus d'ancienneté et merde je parle français.
Ok Julien, ok.
We get to really showcase lots of different sides of France, Paris specifically, and then we get to step outside of that, which I think is really important because we want to embrace all that there is to offer in France.
As Paris, the visual element of this show is so important. You know, they often say Paris is one character. The visual element of the show, the fashion, the hair, the makeup, the precision, might be two characters.
You can just smell the creativity.
Oh, that's marijuana, Emily.
Émilie est une grande observatrice. Elle nous le démontre, surtout en saison 3, parce que vous allez découvrir qu'elle a quand même observé tous les codes de la mode française et qu'elle les a réinterprétés à sa manière, à la manière Cooper.
She becomes a little more French, and she becomes a little more sophisticated, and she's not trying so hard. She's kind of owning what she's wearing more, but it's always surprising and beautiful.
Ooh, this is delicious. What is it?
Is it Kir Royal? The perfect drink to sip and do nothing as the Ferris wheel turns.
Emily is now more settled in her life in France. She's been accepted by people that season 1 were questioning of her.
I think she's going through the experience that any expat goes through when they start spending time in Paris. The French way of life just starts to seep into them, and I think that Emily is becoming more of a citizen of Paris as the season evolves.
She's a very powerful woman who's driven and doesn't buy into the French hype, not in ways that any tourist would. She just wants to stay herself while juggling with the French mentality, with the French attitude.
Ça me fait très plaisir de vous rencontrer.
Emily.
What? I'm learning. My hopes for Emily in season 3 is to continue becoming more and more acclimated with the city, to continue her journey within French culture, to learn more of the language, to become even more quietly confident within herself, to have fun, as always, to continue becoming more empowered in the workspace and finding her voice. Go back to America. No, I think we're done here for now, all right? But my DMs are open and I will see you there. Mwah! Merci! The one thing I remember thinking before I started reading the season was, well, if we ended at Versailles, where do we begin? How do you get cooler and more opulent? And then I read the first episode and it starts at the top of the Eiffel Tower. And it was wild and magical to be up there just with our crew and cast.
It is the symbol of Paris. It's also a very cold place because it's all steel. So it was really fantastic to shoot that moment there because it was a steely moment between them. This is your life, Emily, not hers.
You can't trust her, Emily.
You have to choose.
We're in the Musée d'Orsay. It's always been a dream of mine to shoot something in here. I was able to come here and walk around the museum by myself when it was closed and pick where we could shoot and what paintings we could feature.
One of my favorite scenes to shoot this season was the Fête de la Musique scene where Emily steals the mic and goes up there boldly and sings to Alfie.
It was gorgeous, and I think there's a real kind of electricity when you're shooting a night scene. You'll kind of feel like big kids having a sleepover. It feels almost like you shouldn't be there. It's a bit naughty.
That's a whole lot of naughty going on.
Musée des Arts et Décoratifs, where we are right now in the Louvre. I mean, it's just incredible for the Pierre Cardin fashion retrospective. I was here when I saw the Dior fashion retrospective, which sort of inspired me to do the Pierre Cardin fashion retrospective, thinking that we would find somewhere to do it. In my wildest dreams, I didn't think we'd ever actually be here.
It's a couture car crash.
This is my first time in Provence and I am blown the F away. And I probably might never have come here if it wasn't for the show.
Provence was really a wonderful trip for everyone, including all the French crew and the French actors who loved being down there. It was so nice to see them appreciate and visit their own country in a way that maybe they hadn't experienced it before. It was like a great working vacation, and I think the fun we all had comes through in the episode.
It was more vibrant than I imagined.
You've never brought him to Provence?
It's always fun when we do on location at a cafe here or there around Paris because it feels very real. It does feel like home now when we go to the square where Emily's apartment and the restaurant are, around that fountain. It's been wild this season because first season we would go and film there. No one knew what we were doing. It was very anonymous. And now we come, and as soon as people see cones around that fountain, there's just like hundreds of people there to like watch us film.
It's a cavalcade of locations this season. We shot it in my favorite restaurant in Paris, La Perouse. We have a helicopter, we have hot air balloons. That's what's great about this show is that it isn't just, you know, a scene in the living room. It's a fun house. I love it.
Even when you're having a bad day, the city's looking great.
Emily, no!
Are you okay, Emily?
They're just bangs! Okay, sometimes people cut bangs when everything's fine.